I need plant pots again, and I found this one, this mould, on AliExpress, and it's one of these ones that's got a proper solid frame around it, so your moulds aren't going to flop out at the sides. So let's do it, and I will show you planting it up afterwards as well. Now, it did come with some little bungs for making holes in the bottom, because obviously you want your drainage holes if you're going to be the sort of plant pot that you're planting directly into, but they're like plastic, so I can't see those staying in place. So I've dug out my hole makers from little windows. These have got suckers on the ends, and they're nice soft silicone, so they'll stay in place. Look. Doing. Oops, that one's come off, but there you go. See that? Doing, doing, doing. They're going to stay in place, aren't they? So let's get them roughly where I want them. So let's get some resin in here. I'm thinking what to do. This is going to go in my kitchen. We've got a lot of blue and yellow, like pale blue and bright sunny yellow in there. Let's go with the yellow. Right, let's get some resin mixed up. For this, because it's quite chunky, I'm going to be using Apex Deep Cast. Seriously, you can go up to 30 centimetres deep with this. This is some serious stuff. It's a 2-to-1. I've already just poured out 1 cup of the hardener, and we're going to do 2 same size cups of the resin itself. Hope I've got enough left in this bottle. If not, I shall go and crash out another bottle. I have got more. So, there we go. 2 pots of one pot of the other, and we're just pouring them in together. Now, for those of us who don't like measuring, that's an easy way to do it. Just make sure you really empty your pots, because otherwise you're not going to have your 2-to-1 ratio, are you? Do make sure you get in there and scoop it all out. Like so. And now it's a mixing job. Now, those of you who've got an electric mixer, go for it, because deep cast resin is a little bit thinner than normal, like your regular 1-to-1 resins, and that makes it much easier work for your little stirring machine. Now, I'm just going to stand and stir this, because I quite like standing and stirring. And then we're going to split it into 2 pots, because I want to do white at the top and a yellow at the bottom, I think. So I've got to decide what shade of yellow, but I want to get this kind of an organic sort of look. So I'm not going to let it cure in between. I want the colours to actually blend. But yeah, I need to find a nice sunshiny yellow. And I want it quite opaque. And obviously I'm going to need a white as well then to do this. So, back when I've stirred this up. Right then, I've got this mixed up, and as you can see, it's gone pretty much clear. So we're near enough there with our mixing. Now I'm going to split this into 2 pots, so that we can have a white pot and a yellow pot. And the colours I've chosen are Supreme White from Just For You Online. State of this pot, I've had this forever. Pigment pastes just goes such a long way. Pots have lasted me forever, even if I use a lot. And this one is called Honeycomb, and it's from Create and Bloom. And look at that. That has to be the happiest colour you've ever seen. Right, let's get some of this poured into another pot. There we are. I'm making a right mess. Actually, yes, let's clean up. So one we're going to be mixing our yellow in, and one we're going to be mixing our white. Let's do the white in the big one. Now don't forget, this is a deep cast resin. They take longer to cure. This one's only 2 days. Some will take up to... I've seen some that will even take up to a week, to be honest. This one's a 2-dayer. I think 3 days is more the norm. This is a 2-dayer. Now, there's quite a lot of resin there, so I'm using a lot of the pigment paste, probably way more than I need, but I do want it to be a good, strong, opaque white. So, let's carry on stirring. Yes, that's gone very opaque. I probably didn't need quite as much as that. However, oops, wrong end. Never mind. Let's go in with our yellow. And again, I'm going to use quite a bit, probably more than I need, just because I want to make sure that again is a good opaque yellow. It's like golden look, isn't it? Lovely. Gorgeous. Now, for the sake of giving that a little bit more variety and interest, I'm going to mix a little bit of shimmer white in with it. So, let's clean my stick up. It still needs to be stirred more, I can see that. I'm going to give this a little bit more pizzazz with a little bit of white shimmer. This was from Just For You Online, but I don't think they do these colours anymore. Anybody who's looking for pigment paste colours, I would thoroughly suggest you go look up Create and Bloom, where I got this gorgeous yellow from, because the range there now is incredible. She's got pearly ones, she's got clear ones, transparent, and she's got completely opaques like this one. That's worked. It's just giving a tiny bit of sparkle. Is it enough? I just wanted a bit of sparkle, but is that enough? I'm wondering whether to put some super sparkle white in it. Might do that. Let's put some of this in it. This is 80 mesh super sparkle white, which is almost like a glitter, just a hell of a lot finer. It's a chunky mica basically. There we go. That'll make it sparkle. And I've got a 200 mesh one as well, which is finer. But this, I think, will be what I want here. Because I don't want it to be pearl, I just want a bit of sparkle in the opaque. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's what I'm kind of looking for. Oh, there we go, that's it. We've got it, we've got it. Spot on. But not in the white. Just a little bit of something in the yellow. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be enough resin. I don't think it is actually. I will have to go and crack open another set of the deep cast resin, I think. A lot of wipes today. So we're going to go in with our white. I'm just going to pour it in at this end. And we're just going to let it go where it goes, really. Just tipping it in, as you can see. Like I said, it's going to take longer to cure, being a deep cast, but it does reduce the likelihood of flash curing. Now, anybody who saw my previous plant pot video will know that one of the plant pots that I made did a small area of it flash cured, which was odd because usually it's all or nothing, I find. But yes, a small area of it did flash cure, and it ruined the mould. I got a very nice pot out of it because the flash cure wasn't so bad that it wrecked the actual piece, but it ruined what was a very nice mould. I have bought another because it was such a nice mould, but obviously it seemed to me that the sensible thing was to go for a deep cast in future. These sort of size moulds. It might be enough, because they're not only quite deep, it's quite chunky as well, so there's quite a volume of resin in there. I am going to need a little bit more. I'm just going to go and crack open another box, and I think what I'll do is a bit more white and pour it into this end. Sort of split the yellow up a little bit. Now, if any of my lovely viewers and subscribers out there are interested in houseplants, can I make a couple of recommendations for channels for you to see? I'll pop their links down in my video description. One is Sheffield Made Plants, and Mr. Sheffield, as he is fondly known, just has the most amazing houseplant collection, and he's quite amusing, and he knows a lot about plants, and he's just lovely to listen to and watch. So he's one of my favourite channels. And the other one is Terrarium Designs. Now, Joe from Ohm, it's mostly shorts he's got on his channel, and some of them are absolutely hilarious. And of his channel, I went on one of his terrarium design courses last summer, autumn, whenever it was, and it was just such fun. And I learnt so much, even though I'd been sort of having a go at terrariums for a while. Finally, Worcester Terrariums is another one. Ben Newell, he's got a book out as well, but his terrarium builds are just to die for. So there's a few bits of suggested watching for you. Now, I'm still a little bit short here, so I'm going to mix up just a touch more. A little bit more of the yellow maybe this time. I don't know. The yellow's quite strong. Now let's go for a bit more of the white. Get these finished off, and I'll see you for the demolding. And I'll tell you what, would you like to see me plant them up? I've got some plants on my kitchen windowsill that are really nice plants, but they're just stuck in scruffy pots at the moment, and it's not really doing them justice. If you'd like to join me for sorting my plants out, I'll include that on the end of the video. I've put my colours in, as you can see, and it's full. I said I'd see you for the demold, but look what I've just done there. I thought this resin would be too thin, being a deep cast one, to do any swirling, but as it seems to have done something interesting, I'm going to go like this and probably regret it. But I'm not having to worry about whether there's bubbles down in the corners or anything, because this resin degasses like crazy anyway. So that's not why I'm poking around. I just thought I'd give it a swirl and see what happens. I thought it would move more than that. Be interesting to see what the bottom does actually. Right, back to plan A. I'll see you later. Right, we have convened to my kitchen to demold this, simply because I've got other things going on upstairs. So please excuse the feet of my little temporary top-down filming kit. Let's get these little nuts off. Incidentally, I know there's some people thinking of going into filming their crafts out there, or are already doing so and are new to it. I'll link this little top-down filming rig for you in the video description, because it's adjustable and it's cheap, and it's the light does different brightnesses and whitenesses and so on. So I think for a beginner, it's really good. Right, here we go then. And this is quite a big piece, so for your small things that a lot of people are filming, even better. Because you could actually lose the feet if this, or face them the other way. I could probably have done that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a neat little thing. So it's my backup kit. So these come off easily. Obviously the core came out easily. That's what I mean about taping these to the inside of there. I shall do that later. Right, here we go. Now you can see it's all blended quite nicely on the top. Let's see what it's done down the sides. I'm hoping there's some sort of shading and, oh, a bit of a marbling going on. There is. Oh, I like it a lot. That's funky. I love how that's worked. I was wondering if maybe, perhaps I hadn't put in enough white, but it looks like I have. The inside's funky too, not that we're ever going to see the inside. Incidentally, turn your moulds back through the right way, because it doesn't do them a lot of good to be left through the wrong way. Oh, those little stoppers pulled off the bottom really easily, by the way, while it was still in the mould. So that's worked perfectly, look. Isn't that great? I love it. A couple of patches where the resin blobbed a little bit. Got a little sharp edge there that I need to take off. Looks like there was a little bubble. But isn't that great? Right, as promised, we're going to put my plants in it. Back in a moment. So, excuse the weird angle. By the way, this thing does work as a selfie filming kit. It's not great for filming it on the side though, so I'll have a go and see if I can film like this. First thing to do, so that my soil doesn't all just come out the bottom and it keeps the drainage areas free, is put a little bit of mesh in the bottom. That's a bit out of an old mesh bag because I can't find my proper bonsai pot mesh. This is lacquer, which is basically clay balls. You could use them or whatever. And this is a random potting mix that I've got a bit of everything in. Terrarium soil, plant food. There's probably some bits of lacquer in amongst this as well. Worm castings. All sorts. So I'm just going to fill it up to there for now, and then we'll have a look at the plants. The particular one I wanted to plant up is this little guy. I can't even remember what it is, but it's a lovely little plant. I think I got it from Grow Tropicals, and it's been in this pot a while, so I'm going to use some of its soil, but not a lot, not all of it. Just going to bring its height up so as it'll be when it settles just below the rim of the pot. And we're putting him in the middle, but slightly towards the back. I think he gets quite a good size, that one. What else has outgrown its pot? I've got a load of plants that I want to rehome. And first of all, we've got a little fern. I think he's a parlour palm. Sorry, this isn't filmed the best, is it? It's a good job this is my craft channel, not my plant channel. Clearly that one needs to go towards the back. And there's this lovely little fern that's been going crazy. Can go at the front, and we've got some cuttings. Now this is a nice size cutting which has got some rooting going on off a pothos, otherwise known as devil's ivy. Him in the middle, and then I've got some little bits. I don't know what this is. It was from an assorted plant pot I've got on my landing. We've got some little Tradescanthia cuttings which will give it just a little bit of a different colour. They will just take. Now obviously I'm going to need to put some more soil in this. So let's have a little bit of a tidy. Got to decide also where to put the moss pole. The moss pole is predominantly for that little pothos. There's a couple more little cuttings. These are Tradescanthia, and these ones are rooted, and they're a different colour Tradescanthia. So I'm going to put one in that corner and one in this corner. That should be quite a packed little pot. So what we're going to do next is pop the moss pole in, because I want to encourage this little guy to climb up it. Now, because I don't want it as tall as it was, and the spikes on the bottom were a bit too long for this pot. That would have left it standing up too far. I'm just going to push the little moss pole actually just down into the soil. So then we're going to take our little pothos and encourage him up it with a little bulldog clip thingy like this. Look, these are actually meant for, you see this? It's actually meant for holding orchids to sticks, I think. But of course this will work for this little chap, and it'll help to keep the pole up, seeing as it's now got no spikes on the bottom. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to press that soil down gently. It's already moist, so I'm not going to worry too much about watering it. Now I have got the mould for the tray part for this pot on order. It hasn't come yet, so all I'm going to be doing is standing it in the tray that this came from on our windowsill. So I'm going to do some photos. First of all, let me just bring you down so you can see what we've got. Isn't that lovely? Get this organised onto the windowsill and I'll do some photos. I'll see you for the next one, folks. Bye.